Blaze Live
Sean,
with the great Sarah Armour.
how are you?
All right, how goes it?
Well, I'm just really glad that we could talk before the big Moonual tonight. I actually still have my face mask on, but I gotta be honest, this new moon that occurred yesterday that we are still feeling today and celebrating tonight in ceremony at the Moonual, it kicked my ass.
I know it does.
This past, how did you find the energy of so yesterday at 3 p.m., 3:30 was exactly when the new moon hit. And I can show you the chart, and I want to tell everybody a little bit about why, like, if you feel like your life, you're like, oh my God, like I got more messages from people like, holy shit, like my life is fucked yesterday than
Yeah,
like ever before. And so I
yeah,
just felt like before the moon, well, let's check in. We can talk about the astrology a little, and maybe you can just like meditate me into serenity and we can smoke before the show.
I think that sounds good. I'm gonna take a toast to that.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'll do coffee. I'll start with coffee. Only because my mother's watching. Okay, so first of all, before I even get into the astrology of yesterday, how did you, I'm just curious as like an empath, and you know, the moon is in Scorpio right now and you are a Scorpio, so I'm curious, like your spidey sense, like how did you experience yesterday's new moon in Libra and this sort of new moon in Libra cycle?
um, I experienced it that a lot of weird things were happening to a lot of weird people around me, and I was trying to think if I was necessarily affected, but I don't think I was affected except for just like feeling the overallness from everybody. Like I could
Yeah,
like
it's like stress, like the energy was like stressful all over.
yeah, it was like a stress. So that's why I partaked in shrooms yesterday. I had to do some shrooms to alleviate all of that and
Sort of
bring
an
it all back.
offset,
Yeah,
about rebalancing. That's so Libra though. It's like if the collective is fucked, you as this like human crystal, like you're literally a walking crystal, and you had to transmute the energy by going so far the other way and actually
exactly.
shrooming it up.
So I shroomed it up and and just decided to wait and see how everything unfolds until the Moonual, where everything can be solved and wrapped up. So make sure you
Yeah,
guys
you guys have to come
tune into the Moonual tonight.
because we're going to
Go to,
explain a lot of what was going on. But I wanted to give you, I know you have a show, so I wanted to even just like give you a heads up, or anybody that can't come, like what it was that you were feeling, because it's not, we'll get into it in detail tonight, and we have journal exercises, we have like all shit. We're literally going to do like a travel into the deepest part of our soul meditation by our dominatrix, so she's going to actually like beat us into soul submission so that we can reborn anew. It's going to be major. But and also Natalie's on the show, my friend Nat, like it's going to be great. But yesterday's new moon, I'm just going to flip this real quick and just show you. Okay, so this was yesterday's chart. Okay,
wow.
so we have the moon and the sun here. Oh, my finger, where is it? Oops. Okay, so we have the moon and the sun here in Libra, right? I
Hmm.
didn't do the exact time, but basically the moon and the sun were exactly at 23 degrees Libra when they eventually met. And if you look, it's exactly across the chart from 20-degree Mars, right? So first and foremost, new moon cycles, what do they represent? They represent new beginnings, a beginning of a new cycle. It's like every year, 12 times we had a new moon cycle. So like the zodiac has a reset once a month in every area of the chart. And it's kind of like we're planting seeds for that month, and we're actually like doing the harvesting in the full moon, right? So we planted the seeds for the new moon. But this new moon, which is Libra, which is all about relationships and getting along and love and harmony and balance and beauty, was opposite Mars in Aries, which is literally like war, but Mars is in retrograde. So it's like the
Yeah,
energy of like war, but like it's almost the energy of like chemical warfare that you can't see. It's not like Mars going forward in retrograde is like battle. But like when Mars is retrograde in Aries, it's like frustrated because it can't take action. So it's almost like the energy was like, I want to be in relationship. I want to be in good relationship. I want to be connected to people. But actually, not only am I not feeling connected to anybody and I have to reconnect to myself, but I'm finding out about the relationships I'm in. There are things that I'm not quite pleased about. And I think it was a very illuminating day for a lot of people in relationships. Like, I'll get into it more at the Moonual, but I would expect that a lot of people got shocking news about people that they were dating, or shocking news about like the deeper nature of their relationships. I even had it too. Like, I finally came to a relationship conclusion yesterday that was really painful, but like actually I needed it because it truly set me free. Whereas like,
hmm,
and it illuminated stuff that like, oh, once I know this information, I cannot think about it differently. And that's like what yesterday was all about. And like, yeah, there's so much more, but like truly yesterday was about finding out that we are in wrong relationship with ourselves and others. And this is really like, this Moonual is going to be focused on actually like coming back home to ourselves, partnering so deeply with ourselves to really call the bullshit on all the lies that we've been telling ourselves for the last 500 years, 2000 years. When did people start writing shit down, right?
Yeah.
And really, this is like the new beginning. So this isn't the new era, but this is the beginning of like understanding the new era and like starting to prepare for like, okay, there's going to be a zombie apocalypse. So if you know that, what are you going to put in your backpack? But unless you really know yourself, you might be carrying around stuff in your huge bag. Why am I carrying a hairbrush? I have curly hair, you know? So it's like, we're going to take out the hairbrushes from our bags, and we're actually going to figure out who we really are, what we really need, and then call in new relationships from that place.
I have a question for you. Since you do your charts and everything, say hello to Kitty. Hello. Okay, you do and when it comes to your relationships, like, do you already predict it's going to be bad before it happens, or like, do you already like
Well,
can you use any of your abilities to save a relationship, or is it just like
how do you think I have managed to be in like all of these long-term relationships, Juan?
Yeah.
No, actually, it's a great question, because one of the things that I always thought was funny about it, but no, I mean, I say this and I mean it. Why did I get into astrology? To stalk boys. And
Yeah.
it's not that you can predict whether something's going to be bad, because that's like sort of a judgment thing, right? But you can see where there are going to be issues in relationship, and you can, there's no relationship that's just not going to work. But there are relationships that have certain energies that I think in a lot of ways astrology has kept me in relationships longer, because when I would see something up ahead where like a normal person might see it and go, okay, this is never going to work, I was like, okay, now that I have the cheat code, I can make it work, because I'm overcompensating for this thing that I know, or like I also ended up having a lot of forgiveness I end up having a lot of forgiveness in relationship with people. Whereas like, if I didn't do astrology, I might just be like, wow, Sarah, you are truly codependent. But because I'm an astrologer, I'm like, no, I totally get why they're like that. And I totally get what's going on for them. So I don't take anything personally, but it's like, it still doesn't mean that I should be in relationships where like there are things for me to take personally, like there's sort of this like, but yeah, like astrology, like relationship astrology is like literally my specialty. Like, it's funny that I don't have more clients who come to me for like relationship stuff and relationship readings, because like I will knock your socks off with what I'm able to tell you about how you are relating to each other. We're actually going to talk about that at the Moonual site, because Libra is all about relationships. So we're going to talk about like what the moon, your moon sign is actually the key to what you need. So for example, in my last relationship, a lot of people here know him. We were madly in love. It's a very difficult loss. I mean, we'll be friends again anyway, but it's like, the process of actually separating is very difficult. But the truth is, I have a Capricorn moon and he has a Sagittarius moon. That is one of those combinations. Now, if there were other things in the chart that were more supportive, maybe it would have worked. But no, the bottom line is our emotional natures are completely opposite. So there's no way that we would ever, even though in a lot of ways we were deeply comforting for each other on like a familiar level, when it came down to being upset and being able to help, we had a really hard time making each other feel better or comforting each other or knowing how to be there for each other, because we didn't relate at all to each individual's emotional nature. Like, it's not about your sun sign. It's like, oh, Pisces and a Sag, is that ever going to work? No idea. The way that we find that out is actually the moon sign, because the moon sign shows really deeply what you need, not just like how you're presenting. Like, I don't really present, I don't present very Capricorn. But the truth is, internally, I'm all Capricorn. That's why we're doing my Moonual and my event. And I haven't done any show since the pandemic started, because I'm so Capricorn that it's like my show or no show, right? Like, I'm actually like, I have to lead. And like, when it comes to the way I do emotions, like, I need a really safe space, because for Capricorn moon to act, like, it's funny, like, I'm very into emotions and I work with people on emotions, but when it comes to my own emotion, Tia, say it now if I've ever come to you for help. It's no one. So like, for me to really feel comfortable in relationship and intimacy, I need real tenderness and like permission to be. And a Sag moon is actually like wants to escape. And a Sag moon, when they're upset, needs freedom, adventure, space. So if what I need when I'm upset is real coddling, and what you need when you're upset is to be away from me, that's an inherent problem that's never going to be solved.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
And like, you're a Scorpio moon. So for you, what you really need is like deep intimacy. And you need someone who is as passionate as you are, or at least appreciates. Like you don't have to be with a water
It's
sign
very
moon,
true. Yeah.
but you need to be with someone who not only gets how dark and deep and intimate and passionate and mysterious you are, but that actually like I actually think you would actually be fine with a Capricorn moon or someone with an earth moon, because what you really need in a relationship is like a container. So they need to like not only appreciate how deep and sensitive and emotional you are, but they
Hmm.
need to actually be able to hold space for you to like go through the gamut of, I mean, you are all water. You're Cancer Scorpio. So really you could use a really compassionate, healthy, safe earth to actually be a container for all of your water.
I feel that exactly. I
I think
feel
this
that
is a good sign though.
exactly.
I think this is great because as I'm explaining this, my mask is drying and it's like starting to peel. So I feel like this is actually like a very transformational, like what a perfect
Okay.
metaphor for like, what this moon is about tonight. Like I'm starting this way. I'm thinking maybe you could just like meditate me into kind of like a higher place like within myself. And while I do that, I could pull the mask off and then we could Nama Blaze smoke and go about our nights.
This is gonna be this is
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
get
a
my
little
little joint out.
meditation.
Thank you so much. This is exactly what I. Oh wait, I can't even see my shirt. Hold on.
Oh,
I blew it. Hey, you guys, welcome to the show. We're gonna start over just so you can see my shirt.
Nama Blaze.
Nama Blaze, y'all. Hold on, I gotta get my little joint. Dude, that sweatshirt is so cool. Wait, how do people get Nama Blaze gear? Like, I want to order a bunch of stuff.
Our website is being revamped, so just DM me right now, and I'll send you
Cool.
stuff. DM and
Okay. Yeah, I need because like I know there's a Nama Blaze shirt in Philly waiting for me, but I'm currently in Florida, and if I wore this shit around, like I'm just a walking salesperson, so like we
yeah,
would get it going.
I need to get you in. Wait, how long are you gonna be in Florida?
At least till the end of no, or at least till the end of October.
Okay, so maybe I'll get something down there.
That would be so fucking dope. And yeah, I'll probably be here till like I would guess like maybe November like 15th, 16th, and then I'll be back.
Sounds good.
But
All
yeah,
right, you
fucking
ready?
gear me up. I'm so ready. We're smoking, we're peeling the mask, and please take us into a different realm so that we can actually have a good show tonight
All right,
everywhere we
first tell
go.
me how this music sounds. Here we go. Boinky boinky. Tell me if you can hear this first. Oh wait.
It's a little quiet, but I can hear
Oh, it's gonna come. You can hear that?
it. You gotta cough to get off. Sounds great.
Okay. Shall we begin? Hold up.
Yeah, Lucia, isn't the mask poetic? I'm gonna peel it off as we actually go to the other dimension in meditation.
Yo yo. How's it going? Let me guess. The new moon's coming, and you feel off balanced. First thing we gonna do, we gonna breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. One reason we're all feeling off balance right now is because of our emotions. We are letting emotions control our life. Emotions are needed. They can also be soul takers. The reason why emotions can be hurting us is because they make us lose perspective. They make us lose who we are and what we're actually fighting for. Sometimes you're in a relationship, and when you base everything on emotion instead of perspective, that's what gets you into trouble. Because sometimes you don't know why somebody is acting a certain way or why somebody is doing a certain thing. You hear their words, but you don't know the backstory. Which leads us to a loop of hurt that we don't even know why we are all hurting, but we are all hurting, and the only way to not hurt is if we're able to stand back and put things in perspective. I need you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. To find our balance back with emotion and perspective, you have to fight really hard to lose expectation and ego. Lose everything that you've been taught so far, because you really want to get to the bottom of this. You really want to know what's going on with yourself. Say someone didn't pick you up for a ride. Instead of lashing out for the person because they didn't pick you up, instead of lashing out for that person because they didn't pick you up, you might want to see the perspective. Maybe their babysitter didn't come for their kid on time. Maybe they couldn't find their keys. It's always something. That's why we need to start questioning more, asking questions, try not to be so emotional, and look at things in perspective, because emotions can be our worst enemies most of the time, because we feel like that's what we're supposed to do because that's our instinct. But your real instinct should be the logic and all the smarts you've been taught your whole life. These are the times when you say that you're smart, you gotta prove it. And you gotta be able to hold back emotion to learn your perspective. Find your perspective, find your love, find yourself, just be, and don't let opinions guide you. Let your own logic and smartness and perspective guide you. And do your best to let the emotions go, unless it's time to be emotional. And be yourself. And love yourself. And keep fighting.
These are the words of the metastopological thinker. Put your hands together and join me as we say, Nama Blaze.
So basically what the new moon is,
That was
going to be about
dope.
finding the balance. We need to find
Sorry,
the balance.
start again. Say it again. I gotta stop interrupting you, but I'm blown away.
We need to find the balance between emotions and perspective. And it needs to start at this moon if you want to live on, because a lot of times people are jumping to conclusions and they're jumping to everything so fastly, but they don't even like put things into perspective. They just want to be mad, and like they don't even know why they want to be mad. It never helps solves anything. Like, why not just take a step back?
Well, I think you do have to go, you have to question, why do I want to be mad? Because you are getting something out of it. So have a better reason for doing it than because you want to hurt someone or torture or destroy.
Other outlets to get your, I'm saying, like, get a punching bag, start working out, doing something other than using a verbal way to escape, because it usually gets you in trouble and makes nobody happy, solves nothing. You never get the answer that you even wanted anyways, and you never get what you want out of acting out of emotion, unless
Yeah.
unless you're like a big dude and scare the shit out of somebody and they fucking just, they give you your wallet,
Yeah,
But like,
okay, that's the question though. It was funny while we were finishing up. I was like, oh, maybe I'll see if Sean wants to like meet up later, but maybe I can just ask you now. But I wanted to know what you thought about like, because something you said during the meditation was exactly right, and it's you like don't even know you are fucking psychic. You just like literally did like an outline of what the Moonual's like whole thing is, and we did not talk before this. Like you just
no.
like you are like the Moonitation. You really are like we got to think of it like the Moonitation Suru, like. I don't know. I'm going crazy now. That's a bad name. No one's gonna know what the fuck that means. Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, you said something about like reserve, because it's not about not being emotional. It's about being conscious of how you're doing everything, right? So like
Yeah.
emotions in a lot of ways are your like biggest tools. You got to be emotional. It's why we're good artists, or it's why we're good at anything, right? Passion is everything. That's why Mars is conflicted right now, because Mars is passion. And it's in Aries, which is primal and the first sign, but then it's retrograde. So it's like, wait, am I even out of utero yet? That's literally how it feels. It's like a baby that thinks it's actually born, but it's like, yo, you don't even know, but like, you're not even out of the vagina yet. Right? Like, that's literally where we're at right now. So it's like, yo, everybody calm down. Like, we are in utero. Just fucking relax. You don't know anything about the world.
My first Instagram live that I've done by myself. I've never switched on to Instagram live myself.
Isn't it fun?
It is.
It's literally why I don't, like, everyone's like, don't you miss doing comedy? Don't you miss going to open mics? I'm like, IG Live's fine.
Yeah.
No,
like,
this is better.
Yeah.
But no,
like,
here's my question for you.
Wants to, like, and also like being in emotions is like popular too. Like, I mean, like you'd rather, someone comes to come pick you up and they're like late and you're like, man, what the fuck are you late, man? I'm gonna sit there and waiting here all, blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you're like making that person feel bad that they even came to get you. Like, they didn't even have to come get you. You're blah, blah, blah. You're creating the whole instant terrible vibe to start off the car journey. You're probably going to ruin whatever like plans or night you had, or you just like, or this person's like, I'm never going to pick them up again. Instead of just being like, like big. It's really hard, but you got to like, you feel the emotions, but then at that moment, that's when you have to like start to breathe,
Well, right. It's like, it actually is energy management.
Yeah. Like, and see, like, also you can like harness that emotional energy to make you stronger. Kind of like when like a superhero like absorbs like somebody else's bullet, and then it's like, kind of like Black Panther, his last outfit, like when they shot him, it made his armor stronger, so like you have to like
yeah.
So like say you're pissed at like or like say like we were dating and like we were supposed to go out tonight, and then like right now I'm canceling, and then like you're like, and you could be like, well, what the fuck, man? You could have told me hours ago. Like, what the fuck's going on? I'm sitting there waiting. I'm getting ready and like all this other stuff, whatever. But you could just do the other approach. Be like, I'm not going to let this take me over right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a billion other things I can be doing anyways. It would have been nice to go out with them, whatever, but I understand something could have happened or whatever, but I'm not going to let myself.
Maybe they were buying you a present.
Yeah, maybe they're buying.
Secretly,
exactly.
they were doing a really nice thing for you, and you didn't even know yet.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're like said they weren't going to come, then they're at your door with the present, and you already like cursed them out and said, "Fuck
and dude,
you."
I'm so no.
Yeah.
From cancer to cancer, I have been that asshole. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally talking about my like evening.
Yeah.
Oops, I guess that's like. The question is though, when is it appropriate to use emotion? Because it's not don't feel emotion or don't do it, but like when should you? Because it's like you should see, what you said in the meditation was you should reserve your expressing your emotion for when it's time. How do you know it's actually the right time?
You also have to gauge your emotion on how do you want to spend your evening. You have to start like before you get emotion, you have to start like thinking about, all right, let me play this whole scenario out. All right, I'm going to yell at him right now. He's going to yell at me back. We're going to go back and forth for a little bit. So probably ruin our night. Like, we were probably going to like do some shrooms and watch a movie tonight, but that's probably all going to be out the window if we're yelling at this shit right now. So
you know what I have to say though? If there's a part of me that's being honest, sometimes I find that to be fun or sexy. Like sometimes I'm like, this is going to ruin the night, but then I know it's going to make it better in the end because like, yeah, the
Yeah.
armor was better when it got shot. Like I think actually for me, emotion is something that I use. It's not that it's like, I don't like, I use emotion extremely consciously. It's like, LOL, no, I fly off the handle and like, you know, half the time I'm intoxicated. So it's like, I'm not totally doing it appropriately, perfectly either. Right. But that is my like communication tool. So sometimes I make a conscious choice to have a fight because it doesn't necessarily ruin my night. It actually is what is. So there is a time, I think there is a
Yeah, there are
time and
people
a
like,
place
yeah,
for
they're
a
like,
fight
yeah,
or a time and a
yeah,
place for a passionate, because that's the thing. Emotion drives like everything we do. So we can be like, I'm going to manage this emotion, but it has to go somewhere. If you're interested in something sexually, if you pretend you're not, it fucking shows somewhere else.
but see,
Right.
like,
So
yeah,
that
but
happens with
also if you
all
make that
feelings.
like if you make that like a pattern too, like you also have to like have like you and your guy have to have a kind of understand like, hey, this is like what we do,
Right.
but also like you also put in the risk too that like that happens, but then like as soon as the first like nice person comes to him and like shows him how like a different way, like, oh, so you don't get mad? Yeah, Sarah would be fucking yelling at me like shit over this right now. And like, yeah,
Yeah,
we
but you know
bang
what?
later, but
I agree
yeah,
completely. But what we need to remember is it's not even just like one or the other. It's like there's like infinite iterations of
yeah,
this
yeah,
storyline and these characters. That's why astrology is interesting. That's why it needs to come to the Moonual, because what astrology does is it helps you kind of understand your personal. It's like if you have if you get a video game, Sean, and there
mm-hmm.
are like characters that you get to choose from, right? When you're
Yeah,
like, okay, let me actually think about this, right? For me, it's usually like, okay, who do I look the most like, or who's like, who's like a toad or something really like, I'm an idiot, right? So it's like these are
yeah,
all like avatars that we attract to. But they're like gamers, right? Like there are people that are like gaming professionally and they're like researching the like different like characters and like what their strengths and weaknesses were and what their levels of this, what their super ability was, what their deficit was, what their purpose is, what their mission is, right?
yeah,
Astrology is like you're an avatar on Earth and astrology is giving you the cheat sheet for the character. And it's
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah,
that's the
exactly,
way that I need you to understand. Like, I'm not like, it's like when I really understood how much power understanding not just like, even like all the versions of me, right? Before astrology even existed, it's like, do I have ADD? Am I a star? Do I, you know what I mean? Like, am I class
mm-hmm.
president? And it's like all this, am I a gymnast? It's like all this, and now it's like, it's all not black and white, but astrology can not only explain sort of the plot points, it can only highlight the storylines to pay attention to from those particular times, and then you see that it all starts to really make sense. You go, oh fuck, I'm working my avatar, and then
Yep,
you have an ability to use emotion, or use smoking pot, or use everything, because really inherently nothing's good or bad. Emotions aren't good or bad, but we are wasting a lot of time in them. And sometimes, like what you said, is like when it becomes a habit, you need to actually stop and go, okay, but is this actually even fun? Is this productive? Is it sexy anymore? Am I getting? So as humans, we do need to go through different ranges of experience to understand ourselves so that we can understand each other, which
yeah,
ultimately the point is actually bringing people into unity. So astrology helps us go, okay, I see where you're at, we're in your journey, and here's where I'm at in my journey. And then you go, okay, cool. So we're both like on this weird journey. Okay, cool. And there's a lot of forgiveness there, because if you are someone that can stop being annoying about the way you express your emotion and actually use them consciously, then you're the fucking best. Emotions are you're telling me Cancer, Sun, Scorpio, Moon that you don't love emotions?
oh yeah. I mean, I love them all, but I just think that
I
if you
love
could take if you
them.
could take 1 second to like take a pause before like the immediate jump, unless
But I
like
think
it's been
that's what I'm saying though. You have to discern what matters and what doesn't.
yeah, yeah. You also have to you also have to decide
Or
too
like what the
like
goal is.
if your relationship is fine, or if you feel like your relationship sucks, then you have to like get to the bottom of the things that maybe make it suck. So like
Well,
that
no,
could
you have
be
to get
one
to
of
the
them.
bottom of things.
Yeah,
You need to get to the bottom of things about yourself that is making it suck. Because
yeah,
your
because it's
relationships
all
are
your
the
fault.
reason
As you know,
they're
whatever's
mirrors.
happening in your
You're each other.
what whatever's happening in your relationship,
It is all your fault.
never put on the blame the other person. It's all your fault because you let it happen
It's
and
all
you
your
made it
fault is
happen.
right.
So you got to have accountability, and
But
accountability helps you to get some perspective too.
and how about instead of thinking about it as it's all my fault, you go, oh, I can, because if everyone's doing that, then it's everybody's fault. And so you go, okay, I see where in this way I can be personally responsible. And then instead of it being like, and you're at fault, it's actually just like, okay, and what did I learn? Like, okay, like what if that was okay?
Yeah,
And what was really
yeah,
going on? Okay, well, if you were at fault, then actually there's something deeper that you're not expressing to yourself. actually nothing's really that shocking to us.
Yeah.
We're oftentimes, I find, when I'm expressing emotion, it's like I'm playing out a prediction I made and it was like I was right. But then it's like, okay, but that means I like set this up from the beginning anyway, and I wanted this to happen. So great, I was right. But now I actually have to get into a different, more interesting conversation because I don't want to be right about the thing that I'm emotionally right about. Because that's it's just like the end of the movie. And it all had to happen, and it's all great, and that's why we tell stories, and that's how we understand each other and have space. But ultimately, yeah, we do need to know when to like drop the storyline and actually just try on a different emotional like jumpsuit, if it's like a video game, right?
Yep.
An emotional pack, and you just like try on different versions of the equipment until you find the vibration that you're like, okay, wow, actually I'm like both practical, functional, but I don't feel like repressed or not expressed or misunderstood in any way. Like emotions are essential, but they cannot be wasting time in emotion without reflection and consciousness is like, that sort of feels like a bummer. Then you're actually upset and you don't see that it's all for the next moment, which is going to be better. It's not bad forever.
Yep.
If you can be in
Exactly.
a bad emotion, you can get out of it faster than trying to just be in the bad one and make sure everyone knows.
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
so parting words, we got to go in 3 minutes. What messages do you have from Spirit? What would you like to channel for us before you hit the road?
um, I want everyone just to be able to breathe sometimes. Just focus on breathing before you punch sometimes. So just to
Yes,
give
that's
just to try
exactly right. That's
just to
exactly
try
right.
just to try it out and see if like it makes things. I mean, if you think everything in your life is going great right now, and then like then you might not need to do any kind of changes. But if you feel like you need a change, or you feel like things suck, and you feel like you're always having the same things happen to you over and over and over again, and you think that you're doing everything right, then really prove that you're doing everything right. But this time, just take a step and just play scenario. What I do is I play the whole scenarios out in my head. Like, all right, if I yell at this person right now, it's gonna happen like this. It's gonna happen like that, like this, and then like it's not gonna help anyone. But if I want the night to go well, I can suck it up, not care about it right now because I'd rather have fun than fight all night or like ruin this or like make them embarrass me somewhere because I didn't. So like
Well,
easy.
and
Yeah.
I love that. And I do the same thing, but I go the opposite way where I go, okay, let me think of what best case scenario will be. A good timing. The universe is like, you have to go, and my phone's about to die. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like
No.
my thing is like, I play out the scenario, but I go the other way. So I go like, okay, but what if they do say yes? And then what if that is your client? And then what if you actually created something really dope together? And like, what if they actually landed on the moon or what if it, whatever? I play out
Hmm.
scenarios in like the highest possible. And it's something I guess, like I sort of learned it. I don't know, but I do feel like that's part of what the Moonual is like. Kind of, the message I'm trying to give. Like, you're having the experience you're having. Yes, we hear you, we feel you. There's a reason for it that might make it kind of fun, and you get to try on different experiences and learn. Like, I think we're all very afraid to learn at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and it's like actually, if you
Yeah.
were right and you were an expert, that sucks. Then you're there, and how could we possibly be there? We didn't even get born yet.
I know. I know.
So breathe. Yeah,
But
seriously. Imagine a baby that was in the womb that was pissed about like the state of affairs.
yeah. Yeah. So what we're gonna
Breathe.
do is we're going to I guess take a pause right here now. Get ready for the Moonual tonight. Everybody please tune in. It's going to be a good one. Let's get our balance back and let's keep fighting. We got shit to do.
That's I gotta yeah, uncle.
And your face looks wonderful, by the way. I
No,
think you
thank you. Yeah, you do you see? Look, I literally
have,
transformed. You
yeah,
transformed
I
me.
know. It has like a nice little
Oh my god,
shimmer.
but I still have some. You know what's funny? I actually realized in the middle of the meditation, I was like, oh my god, I think I left a Hitler stash of metallic whatever mask.
I know. Sarah Arnold got
Lol.
canceled because she had a Hitler face mask. What?
I literally had, yeah, it was like a little.
They canceled her. What? Okay. All right. So I guess that concludes us for now. And please tune into the what's the Moonual
Just go to the Moonual at the Moonual, and I'll just put the
at
link
the
in the
Moonual.
bio.
All right. Click link in the
Thank
bio.
you. Sean,
All right, guys.
you really lifted me. That was exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you.
You always lift me too. You know that.
Hey, okay, everybody, lift
Okay.
each other up. Think about it the better way. Bye bye.